Hi, I'm Marty Durand, Legislative Counsel for the Idaho Building Trades Councils. I'm here to give you a weekly legislative report. We are currently in week 5 of the legislature, so with any luck, this is half over. And what's been happening this week? I wish I had good things to report, but I don't. The first unfortunate thing is that the Senate and House Revenue and Taxation Committees met in a joint session, which is rather unusual, to hear presentations as to what could be done to bring jobs to Idaho. And the presentations they heard were primarily from Idaho big business interests, including IACI, the food producers, and the Idaho Chamber Alliance. Much of their testimony was centered on how they could provide business with tax cuts in an effort to stimulate the economy. There was no presentation by Idaho workers or Idaho families. So what the tax commissions are hearing is what would be good for Idaho business, not necessarily what would be good for Idaho workers. And you'll recall that the governor suggested in his budget presentation a $45 million tax cut to stimulate Idaho's economy. We'll have to see what happens with that $45 million, but it looks like right now that money will be directed at business, not at families. We have a bill, this is a good thing to report, that would provide Idaho workers with a half-hour meal break if they work more than a 7.5-hour shift. Many people think that this is already covered by federal law. However, it's not. There is no federal law requiring employers to give workers a meal break, nor is there a law in Idaho. We're trying to get one, and we need your support. So contact your local union office or contact me directly to find out what you can do to provide a meal break for Idaho workers. There was legislation introduced that affects support personnel in public schools. Support personnel are bus drivers, cafeteria workers, janitors. They are the people who make our schools work, but are not teachers. Currently, those workers enjoy, in statute, a grievance procedure. If they feel they have been wrongfully treated, there is a procedure where they can grieve to the school board, and if they're not satisfied there, they can go to district court. Well, this bill would remove their ability to go to district court. In other words, they can grieve, but only to their school board, and that's that. And obviously, grieving to your employer about bad treatment by your employer is probably not a good result for workers. So the IAA will be working on that one, and we will be supporting their efforts. In legislation that would affect electricians, Representative Leon Smith of Twin Falls has introduced legislation apparently brought by contractors that would exempt low voltage work from licensing and oversight requirements. We will be watching that and testifying in opposition because we believe that lowers the industry standards and it's also harmful for consumers. On the jobs front, the Democrats rolled out their IJobs 2.0 package, which had several pieces of legislation, none of which have been moving. And the ones that aren't moving have basically been stopped by the committees. There were proposals that would create incentives for employers bringing jobs to Idaho. One was just killed in committee this morning. There are also proposals that would attract more and better paying businesses to Idaho. And finally, one that would give Idaho contractors and material suppliers a 5% advantage when bidding on public works contracts. That is, I believe, the only one left alive, and it's still awaiting any kind of hearing in the committee. All the other jobs bills have been killed. So going into week 6, we'll see what happens.